Welcome, guys. Today we are talking to BP Wolf, the author of Ashealia, a debut novel, and one of the founding authors for fantasy, fitness, and food. So if you want to pick up this book, check it out. We're going to talk a little bit about it, get some recipes from the book, and get workouts inspired by the book. There are a lot of meditation, sword fighting. We will have that link for you as well. So you can come join the book discussion, hang out, do some workouts, have some fun. So without further ado, BP, tell us a little bit about yourself, about the book, just to get started.
So about myself, I am actually extremely ADHD. I grew up unmedicated. I did get diagnosed. My brain works at 10 billion times the speed my body does, which is not always helpful. It does help in certain situations, but also it makes it really fun because, like in my book, you'll notice that it moves at a kind of a staggering pace at times, where it goes from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. Even though it all lines up, it keeps you entertained. There's a lot of arcs and a lot of plot twists, which I really like because it keeps my brain entertained. Me personally, I have grown up loving fantasy. Fantasy has been, it's just like a world that you can dip into and be somewhere else, like magic, dragons, all of the things that they tell us we can't do are possible. And that's the belief in what led me to look into Ashealia. Now, further going into it, as I wrote the book, which was really interesting to find out, I realized it wasn't just a self journey for Ash. It was my own self journey and the way I learned as I gained more knowledge and grew further as a person. So that's a lot of fun.
And I was like, someone who also has ADHD and like totally understands that, it's really awesome to the pattern recognition when it is jumping all over the place. Because at the time, like, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but as they're like figuring out their magic and they're going through all these things where like I use my magic and I need to rest, like the whole first half of the book, I'm going, you need to rest this much, like something's wrong. You guys should stop using your magic. And then like the plot twist dropped. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Okay.
I love plot twists. They're so much fun. And I'm pretty good at foreshadowing plot twists, but also trying to keep it where you're not giving it away. And that's a lot of fun too, just the mystery of things and having to figure out the conundrum. Uh, one of my favorite parts of that is their magic does really pull from their soul energy. So to utilize your magic to its fullest ability, you have to be centered. You have to know yourself. You have to know your limits, and you have to be able to push those further. So there's a lot of meditation in the book. There's a lot of self-care, which my characters are very bad at. But there's a lot of self-care so that you can work through all of your stuff so that you can learn how to wield your own abilities.
And I absolutely love, because it's true, like both in a fantasy world with magic and in any kind of fitness journey you're going on. You have to pay attention to what's going on inside. You can't just keep pushing because eventually you will reach that limit.
Yes, exactly. So going into my own self-reflection, which is hilarious. My husband just the other day, because I am currently running 2 restaurants. I've been working 70 hours-ish. And he's like, I watch you keep going, you don't stop, you're like just ignoring the fact that you need to take a break. And I'm like, wow, this sounds a lot like my characters in my book. And I'm just like, you know what, stop telling me the truth, I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna believe the lie longer so I can keep doing it.
It's amazing how that works when you're writing a thing and you're like, oh, it's an imaginary character, and you're like, oh, are you really me?
Right, the amount I can relate to Ash is fantastic. I personally, I didn't realize how much of myself, and like when you're reading back through your story, how much of yourself you pour into your characters and the different personalities you have and different viewpoints. And it's a lot of fun, but also things in your life like Patrick, Ash, Michael, James, all of them have a working, well-built relationship that is non-toxic. Yes, they have their own fears, they have their own likes and dislikes, but at the same time, they function as a team too. And there's no grievances between them really, except for, wanting to make sure the other one's okay. They want the best for everybody else and include, the whole as a whole. So it's not a non-toxic relationship, and that's what I wanted to portray was these guys don't fight. They debate, they call each other out when needed, hold each other accountable, but they don't have a relationship where they're constantly at battle with each other.
It's not something you see a lot in fantasy. There's always like tension and like, is this person going to turn out to be a bad guy because like they're a walking red flag? So it's really nice to see a story where everyone gets along and they're cooperative and showing you like what a team should actually look like to give you some hope that you can build that into your own life.
Yeah, letting each person be their own individual, but a team at the same time. Like everybody flows nicely, even with their differences.
Then what inspired you to write the story? When you decide, all right, this is it. I'm putting pen to paper. I'm getting this book out there.
Funny enough, because of my imagination and growing up as a isolated, like I had siblings, but we were out in the country. We were kind of away from everybody. My love of fantasy and being able to have that connection with something else inspired that. It was part of a dream. My imagination was going, and it started as a dream. The first chapter, actually, where James is like, "Oh my God, they're after me. They've come to, collect." And that was what started it. And I started writing back in high school. I gave it up for a while, trying to figure out the world, too busy, so on and so forth. And I meet my current husband. And I'm like, "Hey, why don't you check this out?" And it's just, like 30 pages written in a notebook. Not well either. But he goes and reads it and he's like, "This is fantastic. Where's the rest?" He reaches the end of what I had written. And he's like, "Why is there no more?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I just kind of had stopped for a while." And he's like, "Well, you need to finish writing." Okay. Fast forward 10 years later, after that is when I actually finally am like, you know what? I'm confident enough to finish this and put it out there. And I did. I went from having like 3 chapters written all the way to the 42 chapters that are in the book now in about 3 months. 3 months.
I love that your husband's like your biggest fan. And also, like, I see that teamwork dynamic where he's like, "Hey, you've been working a lot. You probably need to rest." And you're like, "No, it's fine."
He keeps me from, staying up till 3 a.m. and then having to go to work at 6. Like, you do this all the time. You get distracted. You get hyper focused. You need to go to bed. And I'm like, "But my brain doesn't want to go to bed." And then he's like, "As soon as you lay down, you're going to fall asleep." And I'm like, "Well, I don't believe you. I want just one more chapter." "No, bed." "Okay." And then I'm asleep. It's like out cold.
Yeah, every time. All right, so then what do you hope that we readers take away from this book? Lessons, ideas?
So I hope that people take away from the idea, first off, that you are your most powerful ally and your most powerful weapon. When you have to face challenges, all of that strength, though you have outside support, comes from you. Like Ash when she's beginning and she found out she has magic and she doesn't know what's going on and she's freaking out and she goes, "Well, maybe I am dangerous. Maybe I should step up and learn this." And then she takes the initiative, and by the end of book 1, she has become an integral part of their unit. Like she is just as powerful as the rest of them because she chose to step up and face that challenge. And they couldn't have had her do that. They could have said that she needed to do it, all they liked. But it took her believing in herself and being able to pull that from inside herself and say, "I can actually do this." And that's a big part. Believe in yourself. Don't be afraid of your own intuition. Don't be afraid of your own power. Also, though, don't turn into like the emperor who gets completely, obsessed with power and tries to destroy the world. We don't do that. We only destroy the things that need to be destroyed.
I love the duality between the two of them too. Like the Emperor, I'm still trying to figure out if he's really a bad guy. I have some suspicions, but like that power corrupts type dynamic where you're like, I don't think that you meant to go this way, but you have been like sidelined into like your villain arc.
I could give lots of insight into that, but I don't want to give any spoilers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of spoilers in that discussion.
All right. So then what workouts do you think someone would need to do to prepare to enter your world? Because Ash does come from our world into this fantasy type world. So like it very much relates. And she was but very prepared compared to like probably most of the general population.
Yes, because she technically has her father, who is not in the picture anymore, was part of the magical world. So she didn't know it, but she followed a similar path to what they already did. They did physical training with her and so on and so on and so forth. So she was more prepared than she thought she was, because that's what her family had done to prepare her without her knowledge. But going into this world, if you were a novice, you didn't know what was going on, One, being aware, like learning to be aware of your surroundings and learning to like notice danger or, people and places, things like that. Physical prowess, just you're going into a place. Yes, they use magic for a lot of mundane tasks, but also there's a lot of people who do it by hand, being able to wield a hammer, being able to, forge things. The rebellion and the empire all use weapons. They use physical and magical weapons because obviously your magical stamina can't outlast everything. You can't just use magic. You have to have a backup. So being able to know how to wield some sort of weapon, even if it's a bat, going in with a bat could be beneficial, especially if it's reinforced with magic. But one of the biggest things is being able to center and being able to take care of yourself, because the stronger your body is, the more easily you can connect with your magical well. So you want to center on yourself and know yourself, and like meditation is a big part of it. Being able to use your own energy and your own chi, essentially.
And I love, that's one of the things I took away from the book as someone from like a fitness background. A lot of the times, like these people want to have endless magic and they just keep going. And that's not how it even works in video games. But also, like, you can't go all the time. So being aware of your surroundings is a skill that anyone can develop. And knowing that, like, going in, that it overlaps a lot with the real world too, with, wielding a bat. And you, like, anyone can swing a bat. You could do that in any world. It's going to do some damage.
And we can swing a rock too. I like rocks. Rocks are pretty, but also very good weapons.
I wouldn't want to throw one though. Like, if it's my favorite rock and it was like a life or death situation, I don't know that I would throw the rock.
Well, okay, so but if you're in the magical world and you found out you had magic, you could make the rock come back. And then it becomes like a boomerang or a meteor hammer.
I'm gonna need this to show up in a book later. Just like what is the slingshot? You're just a human.
Actually,
right, so
I could make that happen.
Like,
that's exciting. Yeah, I like that.
People and bring back.
But I liked the rock. Why did you have plenty of rocks? But I likes this rock.
Yeah. I mean, when you find I think that's another ADHD thing. When you find a good rock, like no one else is gonna get it, but that is a good rock and you cannot lose it.
It's so, and just the texture or the shape or the feel of it in your hand is just perfect.
Yeah. I have a rock from my driveway that has a little skull on it. Everyone else thinks I'm nuts, but it definitely has a skull on it.
Right? I have a rock that is shaped like a pickle that stays on my dresser because I like it because it's shaped like a pickle.
I also have a rock that's shaped like a pickle.
It's shaped
like even like green.
Yeah. That's fascinating. That's fun.
You're going to send me a picture of your pickle rock later. We can compare.
Yes, definitely.
Then tell us a little bit. What does your writing process look like? I know you said you started like 30 pages early, and then your husband was like, I need the rest of this story. So what did that look like?
Essentially, my brain just info dumps everything. It comes up, and I basically write down whatever comes through. And that can go from anywhere from one paragraph or one sentence all the way to 13 chapters. So it just kind of depends on how the flow is working. Once I've done that, and now, mind you, the very first draft when I write it down is usually extremely, extremely wordy and very badly written. It just has a very raw concept of what is happening. Once we get through that, then I go back and read it and refine it, which is why I'm so intimate with my own story and how much I love it, because I don't outline. I do have like some basic outlining stuff that I've done where I have character references for myself just in case, so I don't forget like what eye color they have. But most of the time it's just raw 100% chaos. And then I go back through and refine the chaos so that it's smoother when it hits you.
I love that. And then not to talk about books, but just because I follow you on TikTok and know that you also have a very unique and fun hobby. Tell us a little bit more about your wolf pack.
Oh, so I love my wolves. Wolves and wolf dogs. You've seen Elsa, you've seen Tilda. Those two are actually full-blood wolf. They were rescued as puppies, and then my friends Holly and Wayne, who originally had them, saved them from the sanctuary because they were going to get put down. So they came home with them, and they're the ones that built the first containments and stuff, and they raised them originally. But I came in when we got Segan. So Segan is Hera and Hunter's puppy. And at the time, Holly was using all of the money from Hera and Hunter's litters to go to build fencing for the dogs and get food and all that fun stuff. I came in, so the dogs were already a year old at that point, and are the wolves, the wolf dogs. Anyway, Hunter and Hera are the oldest out of our coordinated group. And we purchased Segan from Holly and Wayne. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have wolves. Like, I have loved wolves since I was a wee bitty tiny child and obsessed with them. And she's like, well, do you want to go meet them? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, okay, disclaimer. First off, they're untrained. They will grab you. They might bite you, so on and so forth. And I don't want my animals to be put down because you can't handle that. So you have to agree that if they do any such thing and there is harm caused, you just stop. You're not going to do anything about it. You're just not going to go in with them anymore. And I'm like, no, I'm fine with that. Growing up with dogs, I grew up with a household of 7 dogs. We had 7 dogs in our household between my siblings and my parents. And I'm used to working with dogs. I'm used to working with large canines. Like I said, I was in love, absolutely in love with wolves. So still am, but I was like, no, I want to go in. I want to go in and see these guys. I want to go meet them. And I built a connection with them. So my friend Holly had cancer. She couldn't keep doing it. The wolves were a part of an end of life project for her. Her husband had a plan afterwards, and they were going to move forward with that. And we were just coming out to hang out with them and help because I was one of the only other people who could walk in there that wasn't terrified of them. But we kept building the relationship, and then suddenly Holly's husband came down. He had seizures and he ended up in the hospital. Turns out he had a massive brain tumor, and he ended up passing away before she did. So for the last 3 years, I've been going out completely on my own volition and taking care of these guys, making sure they have food, water, they get played with, all of the fun things. And I told Holly, I was like, I'm going to do this for free. I'm going to spend all my own time and own money on these guys so that when you do pass away, I'm going to take them and they're going to become my animals. And I'll take all of the stuff that you guys have built. Last year in November, Holly finally passed away. So now the last year we've been trying to get them moved out to my parents' place in Bridger. We have 2 out of 5 moved. Now they're not fixed. So till then, Leon periodically have litters. This year they had a litter because we didn't have the ability to separate them. So we're like, okay, we'll allow the litter, which is how we have Mr. Yuka, as we only had the 1 puppy this year, which was okay. And now we're raising a baby wolf in our house with our border collie and Miss Segan. That has been an experience. Like, I'm used to working with the high contents. I know their mannerisms, their personalities. I know how to handle them. Plus, I should mention that one of my hyperfixations is dog training and behaviorism. So I know a lot about behavioristic tendencies between canines, wolves, also, the works there, and lots of training and lots of things that work and don't work. So that's kind of been a hyperfixation since I was small. But so yeah, this has been a new adventure, raising technically a high content wolf dog, but a wolf puppy. Because Dad isn't quite full blood wolf. He's part Siberian Husky, which if I had my choice, I would not mix a wolf with a Siberian Husky. But his dad is fantastic, and he's the biggest goober ever. Leon is so funny. He's just wants to laugh and like snuggle you, and watch out for his right hook, because when he goes to get up on you, he'll smack you with his paw, and it's as big as my hand. And that hurts.
I would imagine so. That's awesome. And I love watching your videos and watching all the shenanigans the puppy gets into. It's like having a baby human, but like they can take you out.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's something that I've been trying to explain to people. When you're a
2-year-old with teeth.
Yeah. When you're raising a wolf puppy or a high content wolf dog, anything really above 70%, their mannerisms are very much like a baby, like a human baby. Their reasoning skills, their learning skills, their intellectual understanding of emotions is very, very similar to raising a human child, and being able to teach them that, except the fact that your human child has teeth that can go through your arm. So that's not fun. Their temper tantrums aren't throwing things and stomping on the floor. Their temper tantrums usually involve teeth. But
that's great.
That's why I have these. This is a Kevlar arm sleeve, and that keeps the teeth biting from scratching and cutting to just bruising.
I imagine it's always a fun story. You're like, what happened to your arm? You're like, my wolf bit it.
Funny enough, when I first took over hanging out with the dogs and stuff and helping work with them, I was running a different store in the company. And all of my regulars would come in and they could see my arms because I can't have sleeves in the food. And they're like, what is going on? Are you okay? Thinking that my husband was the one causing bruises. And I'm like, no, I'm raising wolf dogs. Like I'm out hanging out with big dogs. And they like to mouth. And funny enough, wolves are very tactile. They want to touch you. They want to put their mouth on you. It's a form of affection. So them doing that is them saying, you're mine, you're my friend, I want to give you affection. They just don't know how strong their teeth are and the fact that we don't have fur. They don't understand that concept. So you have to teach them that concept. We've gotten so much better about it too. Yuka's learning really fast. He still likes to throw temper tantrums though. He is very dramatic. Similar to Hunter. He likes to make a lot of noise. He's getting a lot better at telling you his emotion appropriately, which is what we've been working on a lot of the time, which I had friends call me out in my last video about resource guarding, which yes, if you're going to raise a wolf puppy, there's going to be resource guarding involved because that's what they're used to. That's a natural instinct, is to resource guard anything that they think is important. So there's a lot of work involved in that. But at the same time, teaching them that, hey, this is okay, allowing them to understand that, it's okay to feel the emotion, but this is, you have to trust that mom and dad aren't going to take things that aren't bad for you. Like, we're going to give you something that you can chew on and you can have that. We're not going to take that away. But when you have things like a plastic bag, you have to be able to give that to us because that could harm you.
Very much like human children.
Yeah. The amount of me running around after Yuka going, what do you have in your mouth? Definitely correlates with my sister and her young daughter a few years ago. And then she just had, funny enough, she just had a baby right after Yuka was born. So they're going to be roughly the same age forever. And it's so cute.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. All right. So, and to wrap up, what is next? What's coming up? I know I heard rumors of a book 2, but what's coming up next for you?
So obviously book 2 is coming. I'm working on final edits for that. And I also have a author's edition for book 1 in the works that really highlights everything I've learned about my writing and about my characters as I've gone through the next books in the series. So I'm working on both of those simultaneously. I have part of book 3 written already. I'm like halfway through book 3, and I have the start of book 4, like the first chapter of book 4, because my brain doesn't like to sit still. So I get an idea in my head and I'm like, oh, I got to put this down, and I can't work on anything else until I've at least gotten the partial part of the idea on the paper. So there's that. But of course I use my phone for all my writing because it goes with me everywhere. So that means I can write anywhere. I've also had a beautiful writer friend go, why don't you have a recording app on your phone so that you can, while you're driving, record your ideas that you can't write down? And I'm like, that's a great idea. So we have that too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Balancing the writing between work and other stuff is definitely a struggle sometimes. Because that's all I want to do is, like, once I get immersed in my story, I'm like, I just want to live here for the rest of eternity.
Yep. I know. So if we have any like budding authors on here, I saw this on a video yesterday that you don't have to write your story in order, right? Well, so you heard that. Almost done with book 2. It's in edits. Book 3 is started and book 4 is started. So
Yes.
you do not have to do them in chronological order.
No, you do not. It's kind of like the people who go through an outline. Releasing them in chronological order is probably recommended, but you don't have to write them in chronological order. You could very easily, like I said, I just started book 4 because I had the idea and I'm like, nope, we're gonna do this right now. I'm halfway through book 3 at the same time. And going through and building the world, and as you go along and you find out new stuff, you're like, well, this makes way more sense. By the way, I did not honestly know how the soul bonds actually worked until book 3. And then all of a sudden, there's a character in that book who happens to be an expert on the bonds. and explains it to the rest of the party. So we all learn together.
I think my favorite part of this book is like if you've ever played D&D and you know that like sometimes you don't know how you're gonna get somewhere and it just all clicks and you're like, oh, this is like reading about like a real D&D campaign
Without the rules. Most of the rules.
Yeah.
There's some rules. But yeah, I love how it goes from Ash not being a part of anything, not knowing what's going on. By the time book 3 hits, Ash is such an integral center for our group that they wouldn't know what to do without her.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, it's fun. Also, there's a lot more to come in book 2 that deepens into the characters, their backstories and things like that. So you're gonna find out it's a little slower paced than book 1, only because we're going into backstory and we're actually getting to know our characters a little better.
I cannot wait for book 2. I mean, thanks for doing this interview. It's been great talking to you. I'm excited about book 2. And I will put all of BP's links in the caption. So if you want to check out our books, I'll put the link if you want to come hang out with us in the group. She's in there. She's talking with you as you read it. There are workouts, recipes, all kinds of fun stuff.